Hello and everybody and welcome to Lauren Loves Color. This is Lauren. I am here to share with you today 3 new coloring books and a PDF from a new artist. And some of these are all brand new releases. Some of these you've probably seen around on YouTube, but if you haven't, I'm happy to share them with you. All of them I want to share kind of my coloring experience and a little bit about each book. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. I am going to start with the PDF first. I am very fortunate. Darren Hoff, who is with the publisher End of the West, he has created a coloring book, and this is a PDF version available only. Unfortunately, he doesn't have it in like a book form, and it is available on Etsy. I will link information just like I always do about each of these books and the PDF down below, but you can find his PDF on Etsy. He sent me 3 different images to choose from to color, just as kind of a sample. And this is a little bit outside of my comfort zone. Not only is it not color by number, but also it's a portrait, which I haven't done very often at all, if ever. Maybe not ever. No, I have. I mean, I guess if you think of the Hannah Lynn books or you think of the Chibi Girls as portraits or things like that, then technically that is that. But I'm trying to step outside of my comfort zone. One of my goals for this month was actually to color some non-color by number. And so I wanted to do something a little bit different other than the Chibi Girls grayscale. So Darren Hoff is the mastermind and the artist behind this. This is all from his coloring, book or PDF collection. I would say that's on Etsy, called Legends of the Blues. So each of these PDFs are different blues artists. And so what I thought would be really cool, I'm actually off of work today, was that I would take out my markers, I would color, and I would actually listen to the music of the person that I decided to color. So Willie Dixon is the person that I decided to color. Music was always a really big part of my life, but I'll have to say blues music is probably not what I know about the most. I listened to a lot of classical music when I was younger. And then I've kind of gotten into mainstream music and stuff like that and Christian music. But blues is something I've always really enjoyed. And so it was really, really fun. I actually had a fantastic time listening to Willie's songs. He is really an infamous blues artist. He was born in Mississippi, but he has a Chicago style of blues. And there are different blues styles depending upon the region of the country that you go to, but he was really post-World War II. Not only was he was honestly really best and well known for his songwriting, but he was an amazing bassist and he also played guitar. He also sang and has just a beautiful, I think it's a baritone voice that I heard him sing in some of his songs, but it was really, really fun to listen to and a fantastic exercise. And I really love how this PDF turned out. It's something so different from what I normally do. I used my Cali Art brush markers on here. And so what I did is kind of my style that I'm really enjoying right now, which is to kind of lay down a base color and then to take a darker color and to do an outline. I did have kind of some streaking and blotching, and so I did over all areas, and I wanted to have kind of a little bit more of an antique-y kind of look. I took my colorless blender and just kind of went over everything after I was done coloring, and so it kind of created this splotchy look. I really like it on the shirt and on the base, but I'm not quite sure how I like it on his skin, but I still don't think it turned out bad at all. I actually really like it, and I love the combination of the colors. I did end up using a little bit of Jelly Roll Metallic kind of for the adjusters or springs and things up here. So I use that little metallic effect. And then I use Jelly Roll Glaze on his buttons, and I use glossy accents on his eyes. And I don't know how well you're going to get to see that, but I wanted to keep it somewhat simple. And I looked up a lot of pictures of him, and unfortunately most of them are in black and white, but I did see a couple of pictures, and he had this just kind of crisp white linen hat, which I thought looked really nice on him. So I created, kind of tried to recreate that a little bit, and he wore suits a lot. He wore kind of like a crisp white shirt and a dark jacket, either probably blue or black. But I kind of liked this more casual, easy breezy kind of shirt here, and so I kind of decided to go for this kind of medium tone blue, which I think just turned out really nice. And so this little saying here says, "I'm a little red rooster, too lazy to crow for day." And so I'm gonna guess that that's probably from one of the songs that he wrote. I listened to a lot of his music, and I was actually listening for this lyric and didn't hear it. So I'm kind of curious what song it came from. But this was just such a fantastic exercise, and I really love Darren's art style. I thought this was really great, and when he showed me the PDFs, I was like, oh yeah, I've definitely got to color that. So I really had a great time with this. I'm going to be doing in my next video, I'm going to pull this back out and work on a little bit of a background with some of my distress inks or some of my palette pastels that I have to do something to kind of give it, to zhuzh it up a little bit. But before I risk ruining the picture, I thought I would show it to you guys here. So this was the image I colored. Here's just a couple of more images that I had to choose from. This one was Sun House. It says a true friend is hard to find. So this one looks really cool as well. And then this one, Robert Johnson, I've got Ramblin' on my mind. And I feel like I know that lyric from something. So obviously a guitar player. And so just, I really had a lot of fun with this. I thought this was really great. And so if you're interested in this book or in the PDFs, go on Etsy and go check him out. I will have the link down below. The next, this is Woodland. Oh, and I've got to remember, let me take this out. I've got to remember how to pronounce it. Hygge. Woodland Hygge. It's a folk art inspired coloring book of adorable woodland creatures, beautiful florals, and nature elements. This is from Debbie Densham. She is actually one of us. She is a colorist, and you can see her on Instagram, Color Crazy Colorist. On Instagram is her Instagram handle, and this is her very first coloring book. So congratulations, Debbie. I think this is awesome. I actually am so happy. She reached out to me to send this book to me for review, and I feel so honored for that because I had actually been seeing, I think Jen Racine is the artist that why am I blanking? I'm blanking. Nikki and Niagara did a color along, and I really, really loved the kind of Scandinavian style so much, and I had been going back and forth on whether or not I wanted to buy one of her books. And then Debbie got a hold of me and was like, hey, I have this kind of Scandinavian style book. Would you be interested in reviewing this? I was like, yeah, absolutely. And so it's adorable. It turned out just as adorable as I imagined in my mind. And this is Debbie's very first coloring book. Here on the back are just some sample images from the book that she, from the book itself. And it's amazing. It's really, really wonderful and really, really cute. And it's so well done. So let's take a look inside. Also what was interesting is, so when I actually received the book in the mail, I messaged her and was like, hey Debbie, I got your book. It looks amazing. She lives in South Africa, and she had not seen the actual printed copy of her book yet. So I posted a flip through as soon as I could up on Instagram so that she could actually see the printed copy. But I think she did a fantastic job. So this is a folk art inspired coloring book of adorable woodland creatures, beautiful florals, and nature elements. It's pronounced Hygge. It's a Scandinavian concept of hygge sounds like a warm, friendly hug, that just sounds amazing. The 16th century Norwegian word is related to the English word hug and can be broadly defined as coziness or contentment. Hygge is an attitude of mind, a place, a feeling, an atmosphere, a way of thinking. It can envelop you like a warm blanket and infiltrate every area of your life, just as a gentle aroma of hot coffee through a sunlight window might. Hygge means finding the time to appreciate the simple things in life, like coloring with your favorite set of pencils while sitting on a cozy couch with a warm cup of tea, or out in the garden while listening to nature's song. Gentle pleasures that can easily be overlooked. It teaches us that we don't need to choose between quality and quantity. If you have hygge in your life, you'll relish each moment and use all your senses to make each day and every moment as happy as possible. My hope is that this book brings you many peaceful, relaxing, stress-free hours of coloring, and that you find the time to enjoy that simple pleasure. Coloring, Deborah. If that doesn't just give you the warm, cozy, comfy feeling that this book is supposed to give you, I don't know what will. I loved that sentiment in the front. I thought that was amazing. She has an adorable "This Book Belongs To" page that you can color. And then we get into the images itself. And they are, like she kind of said, very simple, but they give you this warm, kind of comfy, cozy feeling. This is, yeah, just a pick up the book and just kind of add color. And the images are going to turn out fantastic no matter what you do, because the line work is so good. The line work is dark and bold. So alcohol markers work great on this. She kept the images single-sided. They have a nice frame around each image as well, which I really, really love. I really debated. I found so many images in this book that I wanted to color. And this is the perfect kind of book for me because I don't do a ton of just line art. And so this was perfect because it is so simple that you can add a lot of detail and color in here, and it's going to look awesome. I really looked at this book. I thought maybe at this page, I really thought this was the page that I might do because I thought that was really cute. I like the animals, but even just the floral details are really fun. This would also be great for glitter gel pen or colored pencils. This would be a really, really pretty nighttime page. And the little fox and the acorns. This is really cute. Yeah, this was another one that I debated about. I thought that was really cute. I really like her little animals. Her animals are drawn really well. So this is the image that I did, and I love how it turned out. I actually Googled online like Scandinavian color palette, and this was one of the color palettes that came up, and it kind of gives you that warm, comfy, cozy feeling. It's all very warm and rich colors, and I love it. I loved the little stack of the porcupines and the flower details and elements, and so I just love how this came out. This page also, on a subsequent video that I will be filming, is that I will be putting in a background. So I will be using distress inks or some palette pastels to add a background here, and I think that's just going to kind of zhuzh it up a little bit and really give it something a little bit different. And look how pretty the back is. It's not so cool. I love the way the alcohol marker looks. But some of these are almost like patterns like this page. So those I think are really fun and unique and awesome. But I really love this book. Look at the little turtles and the apples. This was also another one I really liked. I thought that would be a really cute nighttime scene with the little snake and the owl. She does really, really great animals. The florals and everything are great too, but I really love the animals. This is another page I really thought of, was the birds and the trees and the little nest up there. It's really cute. And so that's the end of the images. She gives you some really great color test pages to kind of test some of your different palettes on. I mean, it's very, very clear. I think that this was very clearly done by somebody who colors, because she was very thoughtful about the way that she did the images, about the bold black lines, about the framing. Like, it's very clear that Debbie really knows and understands coloring. This is her contact information, her Instagram handle, her email address, and like I said, this book is available on Amazon, so go make sure you pick up a copy. She also even has some blank pages at the back to kind of test different mediums and colors. And so yeah, so fantastic, really, really fantastic book. Fantastic, Debbie. And thank you again for thinking of me for this book. All right, so let's get on to some of the publishers that we know. This is the Color by Colors Spring. This is the newest release by Shershneva. She already has done, I think, a little bit of a sneak peek of the next book that she's working on, and I don't know if it's related, but she did tell me she's working on a summer Color by Colors book, so I know that that one's probably going to be coming up soon. But she also did one that has this really beautiful looking woman that's standing in kind of what looks like an Arabian background, and that one really intrigued me. Like, it almost looks like Jasmine, but I don't know if it's like princess related or not, so I'm not sure. This book was sent to me from Kira for review, and I talked in my last video about the Mandala book, and I'll just touch on it here briefly, that she's made some changes to her books. She has made the actual colored outline for each area slightly larger, which makes a very, 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 very big difference. I will tell you, this is a full-size book. The last book that she has is her mandala book, and this one is kind of the kind of mini version. And I've had this book for less than a week, and I've literally finished half of the images in this book. This is how much I love these. And so it's just color by color. There's no numbers. You color basically what is the outline color here. You color that on the inside. She has a standard 22 color, 22, I think it's 22 color palette throughout all of her books, so you can match your markers once and don't have to worry about it again. It's on the beautiful glossy paper that everybody loves, and it's beautiful for markers. I use my Copic markers in here. The brush markers work fantastic. I like them better than the traditional alcohol markers, but you can also use water-based markers or whatever markers that you like and prefer. She also has an improvement that she carried over from her mandala book is she made these swatches larger. She has also told me there's been a couple of things I think she'll make on some books moving forward. I don't know if it's going to be on her newest release, but maybe subsequent, is that I think she's going to make this color test page single-sided. I did let her know that it would be nice to be able to tear this out so that you can kind of compare the colors on the pages. But unfortunately on the back side, there is this palette here. Now, once you color like this image, you can still tear this out or tear it out from one of her other books if you have one of those, and kind of carry it over. But just something to think about, as well as I think she's planning on moving her color palette to this side of the page, so it's a little easier to compare the colors. That would be all right along here as opposed to having to kind of fold this over. The other change that she made on this book compared to her other books, and I'll bring out the mandala book again just to demonstrate, is that she has, and it might be very, very hard to see, I'll zoom in a little bit, is that there is a thin black line between each of the colors here. As you can sort of tell here, there is no black line, so she removed that, so it makes it look a little bit more seamless of color and less like a coloring book and more truly like stained glass. You know, or like the colors kind of bumping up next to each other to really look like an actual image. And I really like that effect. I kind of thought for a minute, well, is not having the black line is going to be a problem? I have colored an image in this book, and I can tell you it's absolutely not an issue at all. And I love the effect. All of these are going to be beautiful springtime images. I love spring as a season for coloring. It is my absolute favorite because I love coloring flowers and birds and butterflies. And so if that is up your alley, you are absolutely going to love this book. It's beautiful. And I told Kara, like, there's nothing that I would change. Honestly, I know there's a couple little things that she's planning on changing, like optimizing where the palette is and planning on making that, you know, color test page single-sided, which I think is great. But it's, you know, those are small improvements. I think her artistic style is just, it's approachable, it's cutesy, without being overly too simple, and it really just keeps everything just easy and fun and simple to color. I have become just addicted to these color by color books, especially these now that she's made the colors a little bit, or the lines a little bit thicker. It really makes a difference for the coloring experience, and I'm not having to second guess. I was kind of thinking too, her mandala book has a smaller color, like there's not as many colors in each picture. So I really wanted to test with this book. I was like, okay, am I going to start having problems again with where, you know, like in this page, there's a ton of greens and aquas and stuff like that. Am I going to be able to see all the difference in these? And absolutely yes, I can see the color difference really, really easily. I don't have to squint. I don't have to really guess. There's not really a lot of like planning, like I've mentioned before in her Puzzle Animals book, which are still really enjoyable to color, but you have to do a little bit more concentration and have good light to be able to tell the difference between some of the colors. And I don't struggle with that here. So it's really, really fantastic. So all I've told Kira really now is just keep publishing these books. Keep coming out with these books because I think there are many, many colorists who are really, really enjoying them. They create really just stunning and beautiful pictures, and they're an extremely relaxing coloring experience. And this is the page I colored of this bumblebee. And I mean, that's what's just amazing. It's like, if you look at the undone image, you know, and it looks beautiful done this way, just seeing the outline and going like, oh, I kind of can see how it's going to look. But then once you actually color it, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. There is, like I said, there is nothing negative I have to say about these books. I think they're fantastic. I think for the year of 2021, I'm probably going to call it now, this series of books is got to be one of my favorites. I absolutely love it. This is the back of the page. There are 20 images in each of these books. These books are, I think, slightly more expensive for a coloring book. I think they run around between the $9.99 and $12.99 price range, and there are slightly less images. There's 20, whereas a lot of coloring books have 30. But I will say, I feel like it's worth every penny because of how relaxing of an experience it is. You match your markers. The color palette's the same. I can just pick these up and go. I know which Copic numbers go in these books, and I just enjoy the coloring process. My markers just glide over the paper, and they just create these just absolutely stunning images. It's almost like I just can't stop looking at them because of how much I enjoy them. So I will own every single one of these books as long as it's a theme that I like. Even if it's a theme I feel mediocre about, I feel like just the process of coloring through these is just phenomenal. So thank you, Kira, for sending this. If you have not thought about this book, give this book a try. You will not regret it because it is just that amazing. Okay, last but not least, is just also a phenomenal publisher, Color Questopia. This is their second book that has come out with they have come out with their condensed color palette. This is the color palette that I got to collaborate with them on, so thank you to Color Questopia. They sent this book to me for review as well, and I love it. I am needing some Halloween themed books, and I also felt like maybe this book was going to offer some more color variety than their Flowers and Gardens book that had a lot of just florals and springtime stuff. I got that this was going to get into some funky colors, some different things, and I was right. It definitely did, and I'm really intrigued and I really like it. So this is their Sugar Skulls book. I like the black background. They also have these available, just like always, in their traditional white background. They have their tips in the front and information about their social media, and then we get into the images. These are slightly more detailed than some of their other books, but they don't fill the whole page, and they're still, again, just an extremely relaxing experience. You have your condensed palette here. The numbers are consistent from page to page, so brown will always be 4, black will always be 1, orange will always be 10. So, I mean, if you really wanted to, you could just color all the 4s on each page, all the 12s on each page, and just do the whole book in that way. That would be kind of interesting. But this is printed on standard Amazon paper. In the black background version, you get black backed pages as well. And these are just fun, funky images. One thing that I was wondering too, and sometimes I see this in the Color Questopia books, but I did not see it this time, which I was very happy about. I kind of wondered if all the skulls were going to be the same color, if they were all going to be like a tan color or white color, or, you know, what they were going to be. But actually each skull is kind of a different color, and some of them are multicolored. So I was really happy to see that, just kind of the different variety of colors and stuff in here. And this is kind of the perfect creepy but cute for me because it has flowers, which I love to color flowers, but then you kind of got the creepy sugar skull looking thing. But I watched Coco, the Disney movie, not that long ago, and so I got to learn about Day of the Dead and the significance of sugar skulls and what they mean. And if you haven't watched that movie, you need to, because there's actually a really just wonderful history and culture around the Hispanic culture related to sugar skulls, and it's really fantastic. All right, so this is the image that I colored. Like I said, I kind of thought the skulls would be all the same color, and they're not. They're just so fun and funky. I could not resist but to color this guy with a mustache because I thought he was hilarious. So he's got some like cool hipster looking modern day hair. He has the funky mustache, as well as this was the first image that I finally got to see with the flesh tone asterisk. If you are not familiar, Questopia made a huge change to their color palette as well, that anytime you see an asterisk, you can use any flesh tone. So any flesh tone that you want, you get to pick your color. And so this was, I kind of picked this deep tan color because I thought it kind of nicely contrasted with the hair and with the colors that were here. And this guy was just so much fun. He kind of has this grass in the background, these fun, funky colors. I think these are glasses, which look real cool. And then I tried to be somewhat creative, and I was playing with some distress inks. And we're going to play around with them in a future video. But I did some orange and purple in the background, and I just think he looks super cool. I would hang out with him. I think he looks awesome. So yeah, so I have him. And so then they have a whole bunch of other images, which are really cool. Like I said, they're kind of fun. Some are a little bit scarier and creepier than others. Some are kind of funny. And then some are rather cute. You have the two skulls here. They kind of remind me of tattoos. And then this one just looks like fun and pretty. I think this one will be cute. This one I thought was kind of funny. So it's got like this wide variety of different types of skulls and stuff in here. This one's really neat because it's a little bit different. It's more mosaic-y. So that one looks really fun. Here's another kind of creepy one, but I really, really love like the pattern backgrounds. Like I think that's going to look pretty phenomenal. Another kind of patterny background one. Same thing here. So these are just really fun. Just something fun and different and unique. And then like this hilarious looking guy with the pattern and the mustache. He's kind of cool. So I think this will be really fun and stuff for Halloween too. And then they have some bonus images from the back. This is their Halloween book. Their horror book. Which obviously these are all very appropriate to have skeleton images in the back. Their space coloring book. This is one of their older books that they've turned into a black background version. Dragon Fantasy, black background. This one is also one of their more detailed books. Race cars, muscle cars, and classic cars. And then this is a nice little lovely addition that they've made as well. I got to talk to them a little bit about this. They kind of had the idea of whether or not they should include a custom color chart. And I said, I thought that was a really great idea. If you wanted to write down your own colors that you were using, I thought it was nice to have a color chart there. So I thought this was a great, something great for Color Questopia to do. And they kind of have two different, and they have cute little icons that they chose too. So kind of this clam and pearl. And then the little paint splatters, which is really cute because it kind of aligns with what they have on the back, so that you can put your colors there. And this one, yeah, this one actually has the names of the colors, and then this one doesn't have the names of the colors. So you can choose whichever color chart that you like. And then they even have a color test sheet here. So if you wanted to test some additional colors, you can do that. And an extra page in the back. And then that is it. So those are the books that I have for review today. As I mentioned before, I will link the information to all of these books and to the PDF of this book down below in case you want to check it out. Other than that, I hope you all have a beautiful day, and I will see you next time. Bye.